So for the past few years on YouTube, I've definitely seen a trend where people like to show what's in their pockets or an everyday carry for that specific gear. Seeing as though 2022 has just finished and we're now moving into 2023, I thought I'd share with you guys what my everyday carry looked like for the previous year and what I'll be taking into next year too. As someone who is a photographer and creative director, it is essential that I have stuff handy on me at all times. So today I'm going to show you my EDC for 2022 going into 2023 from a photographer and creative director standpoint. So seeing as though we are keeping this video themed around photography and camera gear, it's probably important to start with the camera that I'm using. Now I can't show you guys now, so I will add some B-roll, but the camera that I'm using is the Sony a6400, which is used to record this video. Now it's no secret, I've always been talking about how much I love the APS-C range from Sony, and I have also had a review of this camera, so if you want to see something more in depth, I'll leave a link for that in the top right of your screen and in the description below. As a quick overview of all the features it has, it is an APS-C camera, which means that the sensor on the camera is slightly cropped compared to a full frame. It also means that for someone who is professional, it may not be the perfect camera for them, but for me who is a hobbyist and getting into the professional scope now, it seems like the perfect beginning for someone who is in those footsteps. But it's not to say that this camera does not have amazing quality in both image and video capabilities. It does record up to 4K in 60 frames per second, so although it will be difficult to get slow-mo shots, for the most part this camera is perfect for everyday use. It's small and lightweight. I've taken it to many countries during my travels, and just a small form factor makes it really appealing compared to something that is full frame. Apart from this, the camera being Sony and the fact that there is the E-mount system for lenses, the third-party lens choices makes you almost spoiled for choice. You've got designs from Sony themselves, then you also have Sigma, Tamron, Viltrox, Samyang, stuff like that. This makes the system a lot more affordable compared to something like Canon or Panasonic or other camera companies where the lenses are of that brand only. If you go back to all of my YouTube videos, they have been recorded on the a6400, apart from the oldest ones which have been recorded on the a6000, which I have now subsequently sold. The main reason for me upgrading from this a6000 to a6400 is the flip up screen, which makes it easier to see myself instead of having to plug into the monitor. The second camera that I use is more of an everyday camera, and you guys will probably have guessed it is the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I'll talk about that later in the video, but the camera quality from the iPhones, especially even the 14 now, is getting scarily similar to the mirrorless camera alternatives. Although obviously the iPhone quality is not as good as the mirrorless camera alternatives, if you integrate clips here and there from an iPhone with footage from a mirrorless camera, you definitely can't tell the difference between the two, which is a lot of what I have been doing in my previous videos. For example, if I'm talking about the camera now, the only other camera that I have is my iPhone, so I use that to film B-roll of the camera. Let's talk more in depth about the iPhone now, and like I said, I am using the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Now I definitely feel like if you are debating whether to get the 14 or the 13, if you can get the 13 at a cheaper price, then I would say definitely go for that, because there are not a lot of features compared to the iPhone 14. The only main difference is that notch that is in the iPhone 14 where it's dynamic, but that doesn't really make or break your user experience of an iPhone. Coming from Android, I can definitely say that I have been sucked into the Apple ecosystem just because how easy it is to integrate between Apple products. For example, if I have a picture on my phone, I can easily airdrop it to my Mac and edit it on Lightroom there, and then post it from there as well. So just because of how easy it is to integrate with other devices, I would definitely say if you do have the money, then definitely try to stick within the Apple ecosystem. Now I have no faults of the phone itself. The only real fault would be, from my standpoint anyway, that the phone is a little bit too big. That's not really because of Apple themselves, that's more just because of my personal preference. But for the phone itself, it's absolutely flawless and gets the job done. From since I bought it at launch till now, I've had no heating issues. I haven't had any durability issues. I've had no screen issues. I've had no battery issues, and I can say that compared to all my other phones, this has really been a phone which the quality really does shine through. On a full charge, I get a full day of use, even like 2 days of use sometimes, but obviously that does depend on the type of use that you are using it for. As someone who is not on my phone 24/7, I definitely do think that that contributes to good battery life, but I think a lot of people who have the phone, who use it extensively, would say that the battery life is some of the best on the market. Apart from that, like I said previously, I do love the camera, the battery, the screen is really bright and easy to see, and you don't don't need to crank the brightness up to 100 to be able to see something. All in all, I'll definitely recommend this phone to anyone who is thinking of upgrading their phone, and definitely, like I said, if you can find the 13 at a good deal, go for that rather than the 14 because there's not really much of a difference. Let's go on to the wallet now, and the wallet I like to use is the Ridge wallet, or just a generic version that I got from Amazon. If you're an avid YouTube user like me and you watch loads of videos, then you would have probably realized that Ridge wallet like to sponsor a lot of big YouTubers to get the name out there, and that's definitely how I came across the product itself, but there was no way that I was spending £200 or $200, whatever it is, for 2 pieces of metal. Now, I don't know if Ridge Wallet themselves made the design or if it was something that they dropshipped themselves, but I can say the one I purchased from Amazon I have compared to the real one, and it's exactly the same. Essentially what this wallet is 2 pieces of metal stuck together with an elastic band, and in that elastic band you can keep your cash, your notes, and then in the middle of the 2 metal pieces you put your cards. So it's a really nice minimal design and it doesn't stick out in your pocket like a lot of other wallets. The only one problem that I have with this wallet is that there's nowhere to put coins. I know that you can get a separate coin tray that you can put in there, but that just makes the whole design bigger and then sort of defeats the purpose for purchasing a Ridge wallet in the first place. Next on the list, let's talk about the watch, and the watch that I almost every single day wear is the Apple Watch Series 6. The main reason that I wear the Apple Watch is due to fitness. I like how easy it is to track my steps and my calories, but I do also like how well it integrates with the iPhone. Even though I'm not really a fan of how many times I get notifications, I do like the integration between the 2 devices. The only problem that I really have with smartwatches in general, not something towards Apple, is just the fact that you're never able to really escape your phone. So if you're someone who doesn't want to be bound by your phone 24/7, then definitely don't get the Apple Watch. Or what you could do is buy the Apple Watch for fitness purposes, and then when you're not walking or when you're not tracking calories or when you're not tracking your workout, just take it off for a different watch. For me personally though, I really do love the Series 6 Apple Watch, and I don't really think that from the newer Apple Watches to now a lot has changed, so I'll definitely be sticking with the Series 6 instead of upgrading anytime soon. Next on the list is something really generic and boring, but it's something that I carry almost every day with me, or I would pretty much say this is the thing that I certainly carry with me every day, and that is a reusable water bottle. I'm definitely trying to limit the amount of plastic that I use, so a reusable water bottle I bought for like £10-15, and it really has reduced the amount of water bottles that I would go through. You know, if I didn't have the water bottle, it would probably end up being 6 or 7 bottles where they're just being recycled again and again. Whereas if I just fill up 1 bottle from the tap, I'm reducing that amount of plastic use. So the water bottle that I got was fairly expensive for a water bottle. It's about $20-30, and I got it from Patagonia in Banff. But you don't need something as fancy, just any single 1 litre, 2 litre plastic water bottle would do. Onto more of a typical EDC type thing is the knife, and I'm not a massive knife user. I don't carry one with me every single day like you see in America, but I do have one for at home for opening boxes and stuff, and it's been a game changer. The knife that I got is a Kershaw knife. I can't remember the specific material or the specific model, but all I can say is that it's amazing. Next on the EDC list is a multi-tool. Now the reason that I picked this up was mainly for odd jobs around the house where you don't have anything handy, and also if you're going to professional shoots, or if you have a lot of camera gear like myself and you're constantly switching between different screws and stuff like that from different equipment, you have everything in one place instead of having to have a range of screwdrivers and Allen keys all just in your desk. Now let's talk about more camera specific stuff that I like to carry on me regularly. The first one is spare batteries, and if you are an A6000 or A6000 series user, you know that the battery life really isn't the best. Now, if I was you and I was sticking on APS-C for a long time, I would go with all first-party batteries instead of getting third-party batteries. But I know sometime in the future I'm going to upgrade to full-frame system, which uses a different type of battery. So there's no point in me investing £60-70 per battery for this camera. The second camera-specific accessory that I have is the Peak Design strap. and I do really love Peak Design. Some of their stuff is really expensive, like the camera strap is like £40, but that whole system of the quick release straps is really helpful, especially as a professional. And I can say that those clips so far have not faulted me. They've been 100% stable and the integrity of the clip is still there. So that's my everyday carry for 2022 and what I'll be using for 2023 as well. Now I don't really like to ask for subscribers right in the beginning of the video, so if you have genuinely made it this far in the video, please do consider hitting the subscribe button down below and like the video as well, so I know what type of content to make. Thank you for all the support and I'll see you in the next video.